All right, this is a Heyday demonstration. Heyday, the mobile game that I've been playing on my iPad for about 3 months. And this has been an experience unlike any video game I've ever played. And so I wanted to make a quick video about it, talk about sort of what this is. So Heyday is one of these farm simulators. Apparently this has been a big thing for like a decade, and this game is a decade old. It's been around since 2012. It still seems to have a large number of people playing it. Online interaction with other players is a big part of this game, so you can tell that there are a lot of other people that are online playing it. And so it's kind of like a farm simulator. Not, totally unlike SimCity or Civilization or any of these other games where you start with something small and you slowly, accumulate resources and then you invest those resources in getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's kind of the same idea. You can see here, this is my farm. And these are, here I have my crops and my trees that are growing things. My animals over here, pigs, they're wearing goofy sunglasses and stuff because that's what kind of game this is. But I've got dogs and cats and pigs and horses and sheep. And then I've got these things which are called production buildings, which make products to sell. So for example, this one makes jam. So I could take the fruit that I'm growing here and I could take it to one of these machines and then add it, and I would lose the fruit but I would gain the product. So I would lose the fruit but I would gain the raspberry jam, for example. And the raspberry jam is going to sell for more money than the raspberries themselves would, so it makes sense to make that investment. And so that's kind of what this game is all about. When the game starts, you just have 3 little plots here where you can grow crops. And you just grow wheat. And you cut the wheat down after it grows, and it gives you a little bit of experience points, and then you can regrow wheat. And each time you cut it, it gives you enough to regrow it plus some extra. And then the extra that you have, now you can use that to either make a product or you can just go sell it. Like I can go to my roadside stand here and I can just put 10 wheat for sale for 36 gold. And somebody eventually will come along and buy it. And you can sell the products you make to either live human beings or to NPCs. Like here are some NPCs that are at my farm. This guy wants to buy 7 tomatoes and he'll pay me 166 gold for it. There are also these truck orders. Each one of these is like an order, so like Mike's Mill. This is all the stuff he wants: raspberry jam, pie, pancakes, and goat's milk. And if I give Mike this order, he'll give me 494 coins and I'll get 207 experience. I'm not going to do that, but that's kind of how it works. So you cut the crops, you take them over here, you put them in the buildings produce the items, and then you go and you sell the items to the NPCs or to this farm or to this truck here or to the roadside shop where other players will buy it. And then as your experience level accumulates and goes up, you have the opportunity to buy more stuff. So for example, at level 1, I'm at level 43 right now. At level 1, I could only have wheat. But when I got to level 42, it allowed me now to grow corn. And it allowed me to build, I think, this bakery here. Here's the bakery. I think I got the bakery when I get to level 2. And the bakery allowed me to make a loaf of bread, which costs 3 wheat. So that's kind of the basic loop of the game, is that you make stuff to sell it, to get money, to get experience. And the greater experience level you have, the more stuff you're allowed to make and buy. And the more money you have, the more you can buy. And it's sort of this loop that goes on. And each one of these buildings is something that I had to achieve an experience level to get. And they also cost quite a bit of money, so I had to have a lot of money to get each of these buildings. Likewise for all these crops, I have a lot of different types of crops right now. But when the game started, I only had wheat, and then I had corn, and now I have a whole bunch of stuff, but there's even more stuff that I don't have yet, and I need to level up for that. Now, here's the weird part though. This is the part of this game that I thought was really strange. Let's say I want to make the loaf of bread, okay? Okay, let's say I want to chop down wheat. Okay, I just chopped it. Now, we're going to regrow it, okay? And here's what it says. 1 minute and 58 seconds. That's how long it's going to take for more wheat to come. So if I just sit here and wait, the wheat's going to come, no problem. And then if I wanted to make a loaf of bread out of the wheat, you can see here it says, well, the one that's cooking is 2 minutes and 26 seconds, and the new one is going to take 4 minutes. Okay, no problem. I can sit and wait. That's easy. But what about the jam? What if I wanted to make a new cherry jam? 7 hours. Well, what the hell? Am I going to sit here for 7 hours and wait on this cherry jam? That's crazy, right? This is what I thought. Like, that's insane. And then I saw that there's this option here where if I spend this currency called diamonds, I can just get my cherry jam immediately. But the diamonds, the game throws you like a couple diamonds every now and then. Like, you do earn them throughout the game. But the main way to get diamonds is to buy them with real cash money. So I could get 4,000 diamonds for $100, or I could get 50 diamonds for $1.99. So then I had a very cynical reaction. I thought, like, oh, this game, they're just trying to, like, they're putting these insane time amounts to try to basically force you to spend money. And it might be that some folios out there are playing it that way. But what I realized is that this is actually a really kind of deep and interesting game without doing that, without spending any money, and letting everything build at its own slow rate. And here's why. And this is the kicker. That jam that's going to take 8 hours, right now it is 12:42 p.m. That jam will be ready at 8:42 p.m. today, whether I play this game or not. In other words, when you turn the game off, the clock is still running on all these products. So it's like these products, it's like the game plays itself when you turn it off. You set all these things up. You set these things up to build, and then you walk away. You walk away from the game. You come back later, and it's done. And you're like, yay! And so, this leads to some interesting gameplay, like, setting up things like at night when you're about to sleep all night. That's like a great time to set things up that are going to take a long time, like 8 hours or 10 hours, because you just sleep all night and then you wake up in the morning, there they are. Whereas during the day, if you expect you'll be playing a few times, you might want to set things up that take less time to develop. The other thing about this game that's really kind of fascinating is, so let's say I was to go through and set all this stuff. Like, I was to cut all these crops and replant them all. And I was to set all these machines to be building new stuff. Well, because of the way the times work, like one's 10 minutes, one's 15 minutes, one's an hour, one's 2 hours, one's 3 hours, one's 4 hours. Because you have all these different things that are taking these different amounts of time, the consequence of this is that at any time during the day, that you want to like check in on your farm, something new will be there for you. Like something will have happened. Something will have been produced. That jam will be done, or maybe it'll be one of your pies or one of your gold bars, or your animals will have produced milk or whatever. Like something is always happening. And so this leads the player to want to like check back in like constantly throughout the day. And I'm probably, quote, checking my farm. That's become a phrase now in my house. Oh, I have to check my farm. I'm checking my farm like probably once an hour. And I don't want to do that, but I am. Like I'm coming back once an hour. Like, ooh, I can do this. I can do that. Ooh, I can update this. And so the game, again, I don't know if it's like designed with the idea to keep you coming back. It doesn't seem to want you to just sit there and stare at it for hours, but it wants you to come back like 10, 12, 14 times a day. I don't really know why it wants you to do that. I don't see how it's in their like money-making interest to try to get you to do that, because again, the only way that they get real money is if you buy these diamonds. And what I'm saying is that this game is actually quite enjoyable without ever buying diamonds. So this might truly be an example of a game that's like, it has this addictive quality and it gets you to keep coming back, but that's actually just the way it is. It's not tied into like a money scheme by them. And I think this is a game where I feel like the developers know, they probably know that there are the fools out there that are going to pay the money. And there are the people that aren't. And they are surprisingly, I'm just surprised at how uncynical it is. Like it's actually a really good game totally for free, without a bunch of like money grabbing, schemes and scams. And I actually think paying money to get all this stuff quicker would ruin the game. I mean, it would allow you to level up a lot faster, but I guess this brings me to my next point. It would allow you to level up faster, but there's no point to leveling up faster, because this is a game where you've heard this saying like, so-and-so is a journey, not a destination. Like this game is all journey. In fact, there is no destination to this game. It doesn't end. This game never ends. Your level just keeps going up. Now, I do think there's a point at which you're at a high enough level that you have everything you can possibly have. And at that point, I guess you can say you beat the game or whatever, but it doesn't actually end. I mean, you can continue to make products, to sell them. You can participate in a lot of the cooperative games that there are. Like there's this thing over here called the Derby, where you can basically get on teams and you and your teammates kind of work to achieve certain farm tasks as a team, and you earn points for for completing the tasks, and then your team tries to win a competition. There's that kind of stuff that you can do. There's also just helping other players. Like one of the fun things about this game is that if you're at a really high level, things are really cheap and easy for you, which are really rare and hard for low level people, and you can just give them stuff. So if you like to just, play Santa Claus and just go around and use your high level in money to just hand out freebies to all the lowly underlings, like you can do that. And part of what I've tried to do in this game is find people like that to give me stuff. But there's a lot of stuff you can do, and so the game never ends. And so this brings me to my final point. I'm fascinated by the way that I want to continue to play this game, and by the fact that I'm putting in significant time on this game every day, because I already know from the beginning that this doesn't go anywhere like this. And I also know that the experience I've had already, the experience that's yet to come, is the exact same as the experience I've already had. It's just going to involve new things. Like right now I'm selling, popsicles and ice cream bars, and I can't sell hot dogs. But in a few more levels, I'll be able to sell hot dogs, and then I'll be selling hot dogs. But is selling hot dogs different from selling popsicles and ice cream bars? No, it's the same. It's the exact same game experience. It's just something new. So there's no point to this game. I should just stop now. But I've been thinking that for a few weeks now, months even. I finally came to the conclusion that what this game is really doing is it's competing with... It's not really competing with my other video game time. Because I've played a significant amount of Monster Hunter Rise and some other games during all this time. What it's mostly competing with is garbage internet time. So all the time that I would jump on my device to look at some garbage on the internet, now I'm looking at this farm. And my garbage internet time is now basically farm time rather than Reddit or whatever it used to be. And when you think about it that way, I feel like that's kind of good. Like, this farm is better. This farm is better than garbage internet. I'll say that. So, okay, that's my review of Hay Day. I realize it's probably a boring video because I didn't really do anything much with the screen. Mostly just me talking, looking at the same old screen. I didn't really know what there was to show. But anyway, here's the farm. And that'll be it for the video. Okay.